Behind the Shades.
And attachment theory just has everything to do with, mostly what we experienced between the ages of 0 to 18. So how our parents or caregivers, whoever those people were, either attuned or didn't attune to our needs. And so this sets up a little bit of structure. So if we have, a parent that's really dismissive or avoidant, then we become very anxiously attached a lot of times. Like we're just trying to get those needs met. And we get little, very anxious and scared when it seems like our needs are not going to be met. And so then that can translate into all kinds of behaviors. And I think, once we understand our attachment style, it's not necessarily that it'll fully shift or change. We can do some things that move us more into what's called secure attachment, but mostly it's about like anything else, just understanding like kind of where you're most likely to get tripped up. And I find in my relationships, that's one place. Yeah. Cause like I can really get into the like, I need you to need me so that I know you're not going anywhere. Right. And so this is actually some work I'm doing like right now, like in my life, just like trying to get to the next level of understanding around that, continue, growing in that area and continue calling myself, ever more into the space of like awareness about the ways that I get scared in relationship and in attachment and how to work with that and how to communicate with a partner about that.
Do you think that your past and your past trauma plays a bigger part than you anticipated that it would play?
Oh, well, anticipated. I mean, maybe at one point in my life, I was like surprised, like, damn, I didn't realize it was going to do all that. Right. At this point, I'm not surprised by anything. I'm like, oh, look at that thing. And, there's like sometimes I was reading one of the favorite apps that I'm using these days is called The Pattern. And you kind of put in your birth date and your time of birth if you have that. And, it starts. And, I love these kind of woo things. And often I'm like very skeptical, but man, this one is like, it's like looking at yourself in the mirror, literally like, I don't want to wait, what? Okay. Okay. All right. I hear it. But, I'm being read, in other words, by this app. And I'm like, damn, it knows what's going on. And one of the things that it talks a lot about for me when it comes to relationship is that there's a constant need for kind of grace for how long it takes to learn the lesson that I need to learn. And what I think is that, in my 20s, I had kind of an idea of like, oh, here's where the root of a problem is, and here's what I can do about it. And then in my 30s, I saw it again, but through a different lens and other layers and kind of other components of it. And so I worked at it from that angle. And now here in my 40s, right? So I guess where I'm bottom line of what I'm sharing there is for any of you listening and for all of us, as we're navigating this crazy effed up journey called life, right? Like there's no freaking roadmap. And all we can do is just kind of keep coming back into conversations with ourselves and keep looking at like, what is the next version of me? What's the next thing that I need to learn? And sometimes we are kind of learning the same lesson again and again, but in kind of different or deeper ways. Does that make sense?
Yes, and yeah, it does. And I like the analogy when you mention roadmaps because it's like because California has Disney World, right?
Maybe
Disneyland.
Disneyland?
One of them, yes.
I think World is in Florida. See, I don't know, but I think Disneyland is out here. Yeah.
Yeah. The reason why I say this because I've been to California I visited. The reason where I'm going with this is that you can be given a map to different locations, but isn't it more fulfilling to travel your life the way you want to travel it instead of traveling it the way that someone else has? Because your path, your journey is different than mine. Yes, we may have different roads on our journey, but I think we all have to be less afraid, less fearful to travel and to end up somewhere that necessarily we didn't plan to be, but learn from it and move forward. Because if we don't trust in ourselves, if we don't appreciate what we can do and how we can navigate it, it's going to be a tough life because you can't always ask for guidance, because what happens if the person guides you in a way that necessarily isn't beneficial to you?